Usually we are unable to travel in the winter due to the copious amounts of snow, but this year was so tame, we had the chance to visit a few national parks in February. Isaac and I have been to Bryce Canyon before, but since it was on the way to a few other parks, we had to stop in for the day and visit. Bryce Canyon National Park can be difficult to visit in the winter due to their heavy snowfall. On average, they get about 100 inches per year. That's no surprise given Bryce Canyon's high elevation of 8,000 feet. Despite the park's best efforts to clear the snow, and they are amazing at this, by the way, this can result in the occasional road closure. This happened to us when we visited. We were unable to drive past Bryce Point Access Road, which will take you to sites like Natural Bridge Overlook and Farview Point. Despite this, you can still hike many of the trails and view some of the most spectacular hoodoos in the park. Isaac and I started in the furthest part of the park we could go, Bryce Point. Bryce Point is one of our favorite places to visit as it contains incredible arches and a bird's eye view of the hoodoos. I absolutely love the unique pink and beige colors this overlook allows you to see. However, we had never before visited when the snow was so deep. Walking on the snow put us about a foot higher on the hiking trail than usual, and, well...
Tell us about this.
We're really a lot taller than the railing, so one false move we get to be part of the canyon. It'll be great. Shimmy down the trail. We learned after the fact that the safest thing you can do if you want to hike on top of the ice and snow is to purchase specially designed spikes for your shoes. These act almost like cleats do on a field and can keep you from slipping and sliding like we did on the way down to Bryce Point. Not our classiest moment, but I'm not going to lie. Spikes or no spikes, it was totally worth it. Driving back up the road, we also stopped at the Inspiration Point Overlook. Upon hiking up the short trail to the overlook, you can really see clearly that Bryce Canyon is no canyon at all. It is in fact a series of bowl-shaped amphitheaters. Here, you can also see Bryce Creek in the valley below, which is formed by the constant melting and freezing water in the rocks that also formed the hoodoos. While the views here are spectacular any time of year, I vastly prefer the contrast of the white snow on the towering orange hoodoos. It really allows you to see each mark and curve of the rocks that would usually be harder to see without the snowy backdrop. We saved the best for last in the park. Our absolute favorite place to stop at Bryce Canyon is Sunset Point. This is where you'll find the famous hoodoo, Thor's Hammer, and it's one of the only hikes into the hoodoos that are open in the winter. While they will typically close the Wall Street portion of the hike, the east side of Navajo Loop Trail is open to those who are brave enough to walk down and out of the towering rocks. It is incredibly steep and slippery in the winter, so we highly recommend having the appropriate footwear before heading down. Even if you don't hike into the hoodoos, there are still amazing overlooks and walkways all along the rim. As you walk, you'll find a lot of informational placards to teach you more about the park. We also found tons of snowmen, which I thought was incredibly cute. Next, we headed to the visitor center near the entrance of the park. Here you can shop, learn about road closures and other warnings, and watch a movie about the park. There's also an incredible exhibit that teaches you about the animals, vegetation, night sky, and seasonal changes in the park. We also learned about its connection to the Grand Canyon. Did you know that Bryce Creek flows into the Colorado River? That's a pretty incredible journey. While here, we also learned about prairie dogs, which are a threatened and endangered species in the state of Utah. They are incredibly important to the ecosystem and help support the health and well-being of other animals and plant life. In order to support the park's mission to help protect them, you can adopt and actually name a prairie dog. They will give you a stuffed animal and a certificate of adoption. It's such a fun way to support the park and help support the prairie dogs in Utah. Your purchase is also tax deductible if that's something that interests you. However, please note, you don't actually get to take a real-life prairie dog home. They have to stay in the park, which is probably for the best since our cat prefers to be an only child. After leaving the visitor center, we headed to the historic hotel Ruby's Inn. Ruby's Inn was the first hotel available to tourists visiting Bryce Canyon and has been a historic part of the park since 1923. Isaac and I had breakfast here the last time we visited, and I have to say that buffet is one of the best I've ever been to. Here you can also book activities such as horseback riding, ATV rides, and, Isaac found an interesting one too.
So over there where it says helicopter flights, I read it as helicopter fights, and I was like, whoa, Bryce Canyon is lit.
Yeah. There's also an incredible art gallery and tons of shopping you can do here. I'm talking souvenirs, groceries, home decor, books, and more. We loved taking some time to view the photo gallery and really enjoyed looking around the Native American-made items. We even bought a small flute from them, which I enjoyed playing at the Grand Canyon the following day. After walking around the inn, we began to make our way out of the park towards Page, Arizona. Be sure to take your time driving in and out of the park along Scenic Byway 12. Here, you'll drive through 2 large red rock arches and have the opportunity to view all kinds of amazing sights in the Red Canyon. While many of the overlook and pullover spots are open year-round, it's important to note that most of Red Canyon's facilities are not open during the winter, so please plan accordingly. Bryce Canyon is a small park, but it is well worth a visit if you have the time. We only had part of a day here and we're still able to see and do so much. Are there any places you think I missed or other winter activities you think we should have tried? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to learn more about amazing places to visit, as well as other outdoorsy activities you can do on your own or with your family. Thanks for watching!